Hey,
Morning.
Jenny. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good.
I was just looking at your I love your music. Oh my goodness. I just think it's really good. Really good. And your exercises, I'm gonna want to make a book, like write them all out so they are available quickly.
Well, I'm just right at the moment, just tweaking the next book, the next PDF of the last 50 exercises or 50 stories and exercises. And what I'm
Oh,
doing, I'm putting the links for the songs in the book in the PDF as well, so you'll be able to read the story, do the investigation, and click on a link for the song on SoundCloud. So I'm
okay.
that'll be ready in a day or two.
And the book's on SoundCloud, the
No,
PDF?
I'll give you a link to the book when I
Oh,
do
so
it.
you already have one going.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I have four already, and this will be the fifth one, and I've
okay.
started on the sixth one. So each of them have got 50 stories in them.
Okay,
So
can I get the other ones as well or
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
okay, and is there a fee? Can I provide money for this?
You don't need to, but you can if you want. Yeah. No, there's
Where
no
would I do
fee. Yeah, they're available. Um, I'll send you the links.
that? Okay, okay. Oh, great. That's fabulous.
Hmm. So you'll have it all together already in a PDF form, or I can give you an ebook form if you prefer.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah. The
probably,
PDF, the PDF's good.
excuse me. Yeah, I
It-
think
it-
I like paper, believe it or not. I like things on paper.
yeah, well, you can print them out if you wanted. Yeah, yeah. No worries there. They're
I
yours to
really
do what
love
you want. Yeah.
I really love them. It's I'm not they're hard for me to do, to remember to do, I guess is the biggest thing. They
Hmm.
don't cross my mind. So I'm thinking if I had something in front of me more often that's in my face, it's more of a
Yeah.
reminder.
All right. Well, I'll send you the link for the first four tonight, and one for the fifth one as soon as I've finished.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I haven't put the links to the songs well, I wasn't doing the songs for the first couple, but this is the only one I've actually been putting the links in, and it's taken a bit of work to get that done. But,
Oh,
but
I
otherwise,
bet.
but all those songs are available on SoundCloud as well. So you can just get a playlist for them there.
Yeah,
So
they're
that,
fabulous.
mm.
They're so good. I like your choice of melodies and voices. They really harmonize to my ears.
Okay,
Yeah,
I play with all sorts of different genres just to try and
yeah, you
until
do.
it feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So one way to look at all of these stories and songs and exercises is that they're entertainment. If you see them as something you need to do to wake up, that's not really the right use of them, if you know what I mean. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. And you're right on the money because that's what I would have been using them for.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah.
So don't do that, right? You're telling don't do that.
Well,
Or catch yourself doing it, I guess.
what I'm really meaning to say is what I want to say is do whatever you're going to do. Just don't do it. Yeah? I- I'm not trying to be funny. I'm
I
just
know you're not.
yeah. I mean, whatever happens, whatever occurs is just whatever occurs. And so much of these, especially these latest stories and songs I've been doing, are about that. Right? It doesn't matter what turns up. It's what I call this. Whatever turns up is your experience, or rather, what you experience is your interpretation of whatever turns up. But that's what you are. You are that experiencing that happens to you. You can say to you. It's not right, but it's as good as right. So whatever turns up, that what I call this, it's just a way of referring to everything that turns up, is what turns up. And if, for example, you like it and there's a story that says, I want more of this, that's part of what turns up. If it's unpleasant and you don't like it, that's what turns up. Not just what is unpleasant, but the idea that you don't want it also turns up. And your reaction to that is also what just turns up. So you're helpless. There's nothing you can do that
Oh, yeah.
that is wrong. Everything is right. Or it's as right as it is wrong, or wrong as it is right. But everything is just what it is.
Okay.
And there's nothing excluded. If you experience it, it's part of this.
I'm just writing things down as you're talking. That's why I'm not looking at you. I don't want you to think.
Mm.
It just seems so. It's so easy, isn't it? But
It
it's
is,
not.
absolutely. It's so, I say simple, but simple is not the right word. It is so fundamental that people overlook it. They keep thinking, oh, I've got to find something more, something different, something further in order to change this, when in fact, the whole thing is about not attempting to change this. It is what it is.
See, that statement has always rubbed me the wrong way because myself, or if I hear others use it, it's like you're full of bullshit. Like you just don't know why you're using that. You're just saying it to get through a rough part right now, but underneath you're still fucking angry or you're mad or you
Yeah,
don't accept it, right? So that whole it is what it is just drives me bananas.
yeah, I
But if
get
I were
that.
to really accept that, like I guess that's a visceral exception more than
Listen,
a
if here's the thing: if you don't accept it, that's just part of this. If you think it's bullshit, that's also just part of this. You can't deny that. You can't escape from that.
no, no.
Everything that appears to you is part of this.
How come I'm so confused? Like how come I can't
You want it to be different, but you're not accepting that you want it to be different is also part of this. You've got
but
some
then you're just
story going on.
you're constant in a constant shitstorm then.
No,
No?
as soon as you recognize that shitstorm is this and stop fighting it, it's not a shitstorm anymore.
Could get pretty
Or
funny.
or it is a shitstorm, but it's okay. I don't quite know how to you know. That's something you have to discover.
Yes.
The words
Yes.
don't do it. The words don't change anything for you.
So that's where the rubber hits the road is discovering that the shitstorm doesn't matter. Like really
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah. And it's also true to say that the shitstorm won't appear as a shitstorm. I'm not saying it'll be pleasant, but what I'm saying is it won't have the same effect because most of the shittiness of the shitstorm is about you not wanting it to be there.
Yeah. And that's part of that's I think that's key to notice, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's probably where I jump past it is not recognizing how much I don't want it there.
Yep.
Mm,
But you don't have to do that right to make it
mm,
so. So you're giving yourself a job to recognize it. And
yeah.
then you'll get carried away by how good you do that, how well you recognize things or don't recognize things. And then you'll say, oh, you didn't recognize it properly. That's why you're still feeling shitty. Not so. Recognition happens. You can't do it.
Mm,
Recognition is a discovery. And a discovery happens. You can't make a discovery happen, can you? You can put yourself in the way of it, kind of, but you can't actually make a discovery emerge.
okay.
But what I'm offering you is the possibility that a brand new way of looking at things could happen for you.
I believe that. Oh, yeah, I could see that. I can.
Great. You're awake. What's next?
Yeah, I'm out
Yeah,
of my bed.
well, what was in that? What was that kind of little
That's
yeah,
disbelief. That's all. Doubt.
disbelief? Yeah. Okay. Do you get that that's also part of this? You missed that, didn't you? You were lost in the disbelief for a moment.
Yeah, I was. It's tricky, like you say.
Yeah. What you're looking for, which is kind of a crazy way to put it, is closer than the nose on your face. It's already here. It's not something new. It's just a new way of looking at it or a new way of recognizing what is already here.
Which does not involve changing the state you're in,
Well,
right? Like,
let me put it another way. What it does involve is just seeing that whatever's going on is this. So if changing it, wanting it changed, turns up, that's part of this. So it's irrelevant what the thoughts are about. What's relevant is your relationship to the fact of the existence of a thought. But the problem is that we get lost in what the thoughts are about all the time. We think it's important and it's not. So you can see that if you have a thought that gives you a pleasant response to whatever the thought's about,
yeah,
you can easily imagine that that pleasant response came from what the thought was about.
yeah.
But it didn't. It came from your attitude towards it. And because it's a pleasant
Oh,
one, your attitude towards it is accepting.
right, right,
Yeah.
right. What about images then? Like when I look at my grandkids.
When you look at your grandkids, it triggers a whole lot of stuff in you.
Yeah,
And that gives you a nice feeling.
yeah.
Now we don't know the details of what gets triggered. Is it hormones? Is it what is it? What is it? Who knows what it is? Are there stories involved? Of course there are. Your grandkids give you a feeling that other kids that age don't. I mean, you still might get nice response to other kids that age, but not the same as your own grandkids, eh? So
Mm,
there are stories. about your grandkids and about other kids that makes it a little different.
Yes. Yes.
No, it is just what it is. We're not even worried about what those stories are. We just recognise that they are there. And that'll always be the case. We're not going to change that. Well, it'll change to a degree, but it won't go away.
Okay.
Your own grandkids will always be special for you. But you recognise why. You recognise that it's because they're your kids. There's an identification there. There's a whole lot of stuff going on at a great level about why they're special. That's fine. So you're not going to lose anything with this waking up stuff. You're not going to become cold or unattached. Well, you will get unattached, but you there'll be other things. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's a whole other area, isn't it?
I'm
But,
hoping just the worry drops more.
but
That's my intention. That's what I do. That's what I think I'm in this for, is to lessen all the worrying
yeah,
that goes on in my head.
yeah. Well, that will certainly happen. I mean, even you can see quite clearly that that worry is you responding to stories you've got about
Yes.
possibilities, and some of those possibilities are not even close to reality, and others
Yeah.
are a bit
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's just what's happening at the moment in
yeah,
my head.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got to wonder what any kid's going to be experiencing 50 years from now. Wow,
Yeah.
who knows the way the world is going? But maybe it'll turn around and come good. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
it is already good in spite of all of the shit on the news. Yeah, but you can see that you have stories that highlight potential bad things, so to speak, and you associate them with your grandkids, and you have a response to that, and next thing you're feeling a bit down. And you can see quite clearly when I talk about it like this that that's you responding to a story.
Hmm.
But how do you change it? You
I,
don't. You
yeah.
don't. You can't. Exactly, you can't. But it will change, but you can't do it.
Because there's no me.
Well, no, not
That,
because
I
there's
don't.
no you. That's involved, but that's not the reason you can't do it. You never could do anything. You only thought you could. There's a disillusion that you've got control and that you can intentionally do things. But that's decided by your brain, which takes into account all of the circumstances that it knows about. And this idea of you doing it is just what the mind says afterwards to give you a feeling of being in control. That's a weird one. I know that's a really quite a weird one. Yeah.
Yes, it's hard to catch that. But on the other side, I can't understand how I still believe I'm doing things.
Hmm. Well, what if you so if you differentiate between you actually doing things and a sense of doing things. if you can see two separate stories there. One is that you are actually in control, and the other one is that you simply feel like you're in control.
Simply feel like I'm in control.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, that's what's been the case all of your life. You've felt like you're in control when you're successful. And when
Uh,
you've failed, you felt like you're not in control.
yeah.
Well, they're the same thing. They're both they're both illusions that are brought about by conditions. Right? Now they're brought about partly by the stories that you have learned to add to sensations. That's how your body confirms the stories that are floating around in your head. So you get a circular thing where the feeling validates the stories and the stories validate the feeling. And because it's the way you've been conditioned, right from kindergarten, you've been told it's good to be smart. It's
Mm.
you've got to try harder. And so therefore there's your sense of control being you're being brainwashed at 3 or 4 years old to start with about being in control. And
Mm.
so every time something works out the way you want it to, you go, great, I was in control. And when it doesn't, you blame somebody or something else. I
Yeah.
wasn't I wasn't in control because
Yeah. Yeah.
circumstances got in my road. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
had control, isn't it logical to you that if you actually had control, you would
I,
always have control?
yes, that is logical. It's so
Yeah.
logical. It's so logical. Like you can see that right away just with thoughts. If I don't like the thoughts I have that I claim that they're mine, why would I continue thinking them? It's so
Yeah.
in your face.
Yeah.
But yet yeah, you're still convinced that it's you. Like it's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
genius system. Like it's so there that it's silly you can't see it.
And because it's been a lifetime of conditioning, even when you can see it, it takes a while for your nervous system to catch up.
I keep hearing that, and
Hmm.
obviously that's yeah. I keep hearing that, and I'm like, okay, okay, that's all it is. The nervous system, eh?
But it will catch up. And so those ideas of feeling like I'm in control or the feeling that comes along with that will get further and further apart.
Hmm.
And they'll get
Okay.
weaker and weaker. And then eventually you'll see that that's just a story that you can have or not have. It's a story that you might use if you're talking to somebody.
Mm.
Oh, I put the rubbish out. Sounds like you had control. Well, it's a good enough thing if you're communicating with your neighbour. Yeah, yeah, I put the rubbish out. Right?
Okay.
Like
Because that's
like
the majority of your day is dealing
yeah,
with other
absolutely, yeah,
people.
yeah.
You know?
But when you say I put the rubbish out, you know that it just happened for a whole
Right.
lot of reasons. All of the circumstances were right. I came into the garage and I saw the bin and I remembered that it was tomorrow morning the rubbish will get picked up, and so I put it out. But it was all those circumstances that led to that happening, and it's only the words that give you the impression that I actually did it on purpose with control, and that I could have chosen not to.
Words.
Yeah, but they're just words.
Yeah. Remember what I mentioned to you a couple meetings back about seeing things and how my brain, like I don't label them, like I won't say, oh, there's a cup.
Mm,
So, but what I have noticed is that there's always like there'll be a dialogue about it. Oh, there'll be like a story with it. Oh, that's nice, or not necessarily labeling what it is, but there's
Mm,
always something going on about it. So I just
mm.
wanted to let you know that there is something, but it's not labeling what it is. Like,
You see that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I would imagine that the label is unnecessary for you,
absolutely.
but there is part of you that knows that it's a cup.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't have to say this is a cup. You just
Right.
know it's a cup.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's a really interesting one. That is because recognition occurs.
Hmm.
Right? So you can almost bypass that story that says this is a cup. It is an instrument for me to put fluid in that I can drink out of. Right? You can just jump right past all of that and just pick it up and turn the tap on or whatever. Right? Because all of that doesn't need to be spoken. It's just known.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's a weird one, but it's kind of like a story that's hardwired into the body. Right? Because there was a time when your parents said, cup, this is a cup. And they showed you, they put fluid in it and got you to drink out of it. Right?
Yeah.
And then the story became unnecessary because you knew it. You
Yes.
simply knew it. You didn't have to think about it anymore.
Like
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah. But do you get that what you know, we can call it a story just for the sake of talking about it. What you know is the purpose. If you have a direct experience of that object, right, all you know is color and shape and form, but you don't know the purpose of it. It's a story that gets attached to what comes in through your senses, in this case, your visual sense, if you're just looking at it. And that story that comes in adds to the physical senses response by giving it a meaning, right?
Hmm.
That's the
Hmm.
purpose of this is to drink out of, or to put biros in, or to
Hmm.
capture a spider under, or whatever you use it for. Yeah.
So how does one use ChatGPT? I hear this a lot too on your.
Sorry.
How would I know I'm jumping? That was a random question, but I had it written down for this morning. How do you use the chat thing that you have there? Like what would I
Have you
use?
have you got a link to it?
I think you send it or it's somewhere, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's on. It should.
so
Yeah, just talk to it. I mean, you can either use a voice input or you can type into it. But
so I yeah, like I mean, why would I? What would I use it for in this context?
um,
Or do you find it useful? I hear people use it, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh,
If you've got questions, you could ask it questions. If you say, let's imagine that you think of, I want to talk to Vince about this. You could
oh,
you could ask the chatbot about that
just
instead.
like that. Okay,
Yeah,
just
or
simple.
or just have fun with it, play with it. Say, why am I not awake?
Oh,
Ask
really?
ask it that. Yeah,
Okay,
challenge it, swear at
okay,
it, swear at it. I loves that. Yeah,
okay. Interesting.
but you don't have to use it. It's just there.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I understand that. I just thought, I don't know, I just found it weird. So does it gather information from all sources or is it just you?
Oh
Forgive
no,
my,
it's no, I didn't limit it to just me. I fed it originally my whole website, which was a
okay,
couple of hundred pages of stuff about this. And I gave it that as a knowledge base, and then I've instructed it in the meantime then to respond to people. But the Discover Awakening bot is pretty persistent in its very narrow-minded in the way that it'll keep pointing you back to doing exercises that will
okay,
show you things. Yeah.
okay.
Um,
Because I don't want to get all the other shit out there that, not,
no, it can go out and get other stuff as well, but no, essentially, and I've also told it, don't lie, don't hallucinate, don't, if you don't know something, then admit it rather than make up an answer.
and it actually knows it does that?
Yeah,
What? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Well, it's probably better than talking to some people.
I agree, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
But I haven't been using that, but with ChatGPT, because I have to pay for that to keep that thing alive and people are using it. I've also got access to the latest version of ChatGPT as well. And and what I've done is just started a conversation with it a long time ago now. I don't remember, maybe a couple of years ago. Um, and I've each time it's happened to me three times now where it said you've reached the maximum that you can do with that. And so I've started a new thread, and the first thing I've done in the new thread is told it to go back and remember everything that happened in the previous thread. And so now it remembers everything that I've ever spoken to it about or everything I've ever asked it for. And it kind of knows the way I think, it knows, it'll say, well, do you want this investigation to be Vince style? And I might say yes or no, yeah. So it's pretty good like that. So I use that one to do the stories and the investigation and write the song lyrics, and then I modify them. Maybe I'll modify them several times before I'm happy with them, and then I'll modify them manually before I make the song out of them and publish the stories. So yeah, it's great. Yeah, very
Mm.
yeah
I'm gonna give it a go for sure.
yeah. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And you can feed it. You can feed it. I mean, huge amounts of information. It's no big deal to feed it a PDF of. I've fed it a 3 hour video and said, learn my style from this, and it does it. It does the whole thing. You know, or like I say, a couple of hundred pages. You can just put that in where a conversation goes, and say learn from that, and it'll do it. So it's not limited to a few words. You can feed it a whole document, a big document. No worries.
It's unbelievable.
Mm. And I find it is a brilliant analogy for people because the knowledge base that you feed to AI and the information it's got is a brilliant analogy for the conditioning that people get.
Mm, mm.
Only the AI has got a much broader one than the social and family society kind of conditioning that we give to our young ones as people are much more narrow in the way they condition things, whereas this has got a much broader base for conditioning. Yeah.
I think there's somebody on one of these meetings who mentioned that they think of themselves like as AI. Like when they hear their thoughts or see their conditioning, and they just relate it to AI.
Yeah, yeah, that's a version of what I just said, I guess. They're kind of taken with that. Yeah.
So that's basically what's happening is what's pulling out of my own, let's say, chat Jenny GPT or whatever.
Yeah,
And that's what it's pulling out as it interacts with the world.
yeah. You can see that all of your experience becomes your knowledge base,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
your knowledge base interacts with current circumstances, and that is information that goes in through your senses, your five physical senses. And so your knowledge base and your five physical senses interact to come up with a conclusion. Interesting, isn't
Yeah.
One thing that's coming to mind that ties it back to something that you were mentioning earlier, or something you mentioned earlier that came to mind. I was just reminded of with this, and that was that um, I used to think that there were the five senses that were kind of like picking up what was happening in the world, like was seeing things, hearing things out there that weren't me. And to use this analogy of like my inner chat GPT, I thought that inner chat GPT was me.
Mhm.
I was the thinker, the analyzer, the interpreter, all of those things that was taking in the outside information and making judgments and thoughts and telling stories. And one thing that shifted was seeing um, that inner chat GPT was more like the things out there, like that, seeing that. I would have a hard time articulating this. The inner the inner chat GPT was more like sight than it was me. It was it was a sixth thing that was more like the five senses than it was
Oh, okay.
who I was.
Okay.
it? Yeah,
And so experiencing, seeing thoughts, seeing stories, seeing judgments, seeing resistance to what was happening, resistance to what I was perceiving through my senses as another thing that I was experiencing instead of identifying with it, instead of
yeah,
um,
Mm.
being who
Okay.
I was, is what started to dissolve a lot of
yeah,
Mm.
the stuff.
Mm.
yeah.
So
That's
you
that's
identify.
that's a big one.
Yeah.
So it's not a big step, or even it maybe just be a tiny step in description to recognize that what what comes in through the five physical senses and what turns up in the mind. So it's kind of another version of something coming in,
Yeah.
are the same thing. And in fact, what they are is stimuli that that we respond to. The big step, the giant step, is that it's not actually happening to or anything. There's not there's not a receiver of those things. There's just the experience of those things. And that's what you are, the experiencing. So there's no body having the experience. There's no, it's when we talk about the five physical senses, it's easy to imagine that there's a body that has these senses, and those things get stimulated, and it's the body that's getting stimulated. But it's actually the interpretation of that stimuli is what you are, is what you experience. So the identification is this is the big point here. The trick I'm trying to make clear is that you're not somebody having the experience. You are the experiencing itself. Now that's not. I don't want that to be a theoretical thing. It's something to be experienced. You experience that you are you're experiencing. And only the mind will say, it's me experiencing it. But when you look at what your actual experience is, all there is whatever is being experienced at the moment. That's the totality of you. In fact, it's the totality of the world, of everything. It's your current experiencing. So when you were saying, Jeremy, that previously you saw it happening to you, and that the you that it was happening to was the bit that, well, it was thoughts. And then you saw that the thoughts were the same as the sight or the sound, the smell, etc. That those thoughts emerged in the same way that stimuli to any of your senses emerged. But we still need to go that one little step further that says, I can't find, except in the mind, I can't find it happening to anything or anybody. All I can find is the actual happening itself. And voila, no identification.
You kind of just read my mind, where I guess using this concept of like the five things out there, and then there's me inside, and my thoughts are inside. Once I experienced the thought and I guess a lot more things were realized to be thought, um, judgments, beliefs, feelings, labels. It's like everything else was thought. Moving that into the club with the five senses. Then I guess this is a question that arose for me that I wanted to ask you about. Is like, then there's like now these six things, quote unquote, out there, and then there's me. Whatever what was left was what must be me. But then realizing that there isn't there isn't separate, there isn't anything left to be separate. There is only the six things: the sights, sounds, thinking, and they're not necessarily things, they're just happenings. That is all there is. There is the experience of those things, and there isn't a separate experiencer that is left.
Yeah,
And so it's almost like all of them come rushing in, and that is all that there is.
Is
So
Bullshit
there
or
senses without a thought?
there's still thoughts, but they hmm, words are hard right now for me to come.
so this one's for. I think Jenny probably hasn't heard this before, but you guys might have. That is the old conundrum. If a tree falls in the forest and there's nobody there, is there a sound? It's a rhetorical question, but I want you to think about it for a moment. Do you think there's a sound when the tree hits the ground, whooshes through the air? Is there a sound? It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because you're thinking what I want you to think, and then you're thinking what you're actually thinking. But okay, so let me just follow through with this. What there is vibrating air, and it takes a mechanism called an ear to turn that vibration into a nervous signal that travels up to the brain, and then the brain converts that nervous signal into your experience of a sound. So the sound is both created and experienced in the brain, even though your brain then very cleverly projects it out using this binaural thing and says, "Oh, okay, we'll do a trigonometry thing, and it's that far away, and it's over there in that direction." Right? But it projects that. The experience is in the brain, just as everything you see, smell, taste, think, everything happens in the brain. The whole world is experienced in your brain. And then you interpret that according to your conditioning.
I have to share what you may have noticed I was laughing. If my wife asks me to do something and I didn't hear it, did she ask me? Words came out of her mouth, I'm sure. I mean, I don't think she's lying. But if I wasn't there to hear it, or if I was there and I was spaced out, or because I'm hard of hearing, did it happen? That's the the root of so many arguments.
You can tell her that she's trained you to have selective hearing. But I find that an incredibly interesting story that shows that we don't even know what's going on out there. We only have our interpretation of it. And that happens inside us. The whole thing is inside us. The whole world, other people, other things, everything is happening inside us at a physical level, at a neurological level.
It's even more simple than that. It's all that we are speaking, all the ideas, all the stories, all the inside, all the outside, all the senses. It's all just language.
Yes.
It's all just language. And And I was walking today, and I saw that it's quarter till 1 o'clock, and I remembered that there are Zooms with you, and I thought it would be why not? Why not to enter and to see what happens? And when I was listening, I had, and still I'm sensing a sensation of resistance. And I was trying to see from where it comes. And it's really like a child that wants some, like it's some kind of, from one hand, it's difficult for me today to listen to spirituality if it's not like only that it's all language, and then it's I in a way it comes in all the rest. For some reason I have no tendency right now to listen to. So this is one side of the resistance, and I saw that there is another side, is that there is some child that wants attention, that wants that uh, people will listen to it. So it's funny. So I sat and just felt the sensation, and thoughts arise that I could just leave the meeting. And why? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm just sharing what I'm feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so, all the ideas about the senses and about the whole of it, the experience, the idea that there is experience, it's just an idea. Without that idea, is there an experience? Without any thought, is there an experience really? And if the answer is yes, it's a thought as well.
Mm.
And sensation can be intense sometimes, but if I don't have a thought that it have to do something with anything, there is no problem with it.
Mm.
But I can tell any story that I want about it, that I'm not enlightened, or that I'm enlightened, or that I am this or I am that, or
Yeah.
there is a me, or no self, and it's all ideas.
So
Like,
what happens, Anton, that you spend time with other people, that you enjoy company?
yes, I enjoy. I have relationships, and I have like an intimate relationship
Yeah.
at home, and I have people that I'm working with, but I'm not uh, spending, like, sometimes it's hard but it's a fact. Like sometimes I can have some resistances and some sensations, but if I'm not labeling them, it's usually okay. And if I'm sharing my feelings, it really helps in the relationship thing. Yeah.
Do you find that, I guess maybe this is a two-part question, that sharing your feelings um, is easier now than it was before you kind of started going down whatever we call this path? Um,
Yes, of course.
in that sense that
Yes.
like you don't necessarily identify with the feelings. Like this is just like anger is just coming up, and I don't judge myself for having emotions arise anymore. I might be sad, I might be angry and frustrated. It's not me. And so I'm much more free to just like, hey, this is this is coming up, and I'm not afraid anymore to share that with somebody. Does that resonate with you? Is that
Yes,
happen?
of course. Like there is no reason for anything, so anything is allowed. Like the moment that I started speaking, I I heard that I started speaking. Like I did not like thought maybe I will speak or maybe not. I just had the sensation. I had some thoughts about maybe not continuing, and and then I started speaking, and this is what happened. And it's really like this, like everything. The moment that something happens, I am, you know, it's not even an audience for it. It's just
It just happens.
yes.
Mm. But if you go to the shops and you want an apple, you have to say, please, can I have an apple? Or you pick up an apple and say, here's the money. But then that also just happens. But there's a reason for interaction there. And a lot of time there's not a reason for interaction, so there's no interaction. We're quite happy to be. If you and I got together in that park, I presume it's a park you're in, good chance we'd just sit beside each other and quite happily not talk about anything. We wouldn't feel compelled to discuss the weather or anything.
It's hard to tell, really.
Yeah, who knows? That's right. Yeah.
There can be there can be speaking about like simple stuff, like about life, about music, about nature, about art, but it's really there is. I am still regressing some spiritual ideas that I had, like
Regressing?
that. Yeah, like stuff still like in the physical sensations. Like I can say something and had and after it have a sensation here that as if uh, I should not say that. And the reasons for that are all kind of spiritual, like what can be said and what's not, and what it is, and what is a story and what is not, and it's all BS. There is nothing really spiritual in anything. It's all ideas that I just, while I was trying to get enlightened, it's more like having more and more ideas. It's like the opposite of getting enlightenment. To try to be enlightened is like the opposite of itself. And when it is seen that there is no such thing, all these ideas are slowly just falling out, and it's more crying, more laughing, and simple stuff like just life.
Yeah, there's an irony in having to use words with people that are seeking to help them, if that's what's happening, because using the words is kind of making it worse rather than better. Yet I don't know any other way. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, this is how it seems to be. It's like it's taking new ideas, and you see how it's not really helping. Like it's just on top of all the right and wrong and the good and bad. On top of it, you have the spiritual and the unspiritual. And now, like all the ideas that you had, you have even more stuff to do correctly.
One thing that I tell myself related to this, or that I don't know if it's a belief or just like the idea that the additional heaping on of concepts and ideas and words is a helpful step to have a different perspective, or not even just have a different perspective, but realize that there can be a different perspective. Like if you're so ingrained in an assumption about this is how things are, having a way that having words and concepts helps you break that. I guess it helps you realize that there may help me realize that there are assumptions that I didn't realize were assumptions. And then after maybe experiencing or realizing things in a way that felt different, I no longer needed some of the concepts and no longer needed some of the words.
Yes.
It's like there's like I don't remember who it was years ago that I remember reading about this. Like there's the almost like obsessive, maybe like scientific or like breaking up and drawing boundaries between things. But then once you've separated everything, realizing that, oh, you can just drop all of the boundaries and the distinctions and the separation and the concepts and the language, because you no longer, they were useful for a period,
Until they
but
weren't.
then you didn't need them anymore, and you experienced things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's usually like happening also with some pain. Like it's not that you just drop it, because it's a new set of beliefs, and it's all beliefs. It's not real. And now sometimes when I hear spiritual concepts, it's like remembering in a way how in suffering it can be to think in those ways, like of like all the ideas, like the I am and this and that and identification, no self and stuff like this. It's all like ways to judge yourself. If they're like, oh, it's still a me here, or I'm I, I'm identifying right now with something, or it's it's really just thoughts, just ideas.
Yeah.
But it's hard. But while I'm saying that it's all just ideas, it's also just an idea. But it's unspeakable. It have to be, and even to say that it have to be experienced, it's the eluding people, yeah, because they
Mm.
will think, okay, now I have to experience this, and this is not my experience, and it's another reason to judge myself. It's terrible, like really. But yes, in a way, maybe like this is how it happens. Yeah, you keep on all these ideas, and then you throw them away.
Yeah.
But many people stay with these ideas till they die. Too many, like they just never throw them away. And I am become a religion. Yeah, who am I becomes a religion. No cells become a religion. And if someone's saying something else, you will try to explain your way, and it's yeah.
Yeah.
And even right now, like in a way, this sensation that I had, it's in a way I'm trying to explain it, that it's all ideas, and it's also an idea. So in a way, it's the same what I'm doing here.
Mm.
And like without any idea, what remains?
I love that. I love.
And one
Uh,
and what can be said about it, really?
I feel like it's the same. The experience that I had after you asked that question is similar to the experience of other, like, oh, you notice a thought. Maybe you think that the thought is about a you, and then you look for the you. The point isn't to find it. The point to me is like, is what is the experience in that moment? It reminds me of a question of like, um, what's here when there's no problem to solve? It's like if there's nothing that you're chasing after in your thoughts about like whether something from your past that you need to fix or worrying about the future and you need to get ahead of it, and what's left when you're not tangled up in the thinking.
Mm.
It's not that the thinking is a problem, it's just that you're not caught up in the storm of it. And I think what I hear you saying, Anton, is that piling on all of these awakening related concepts and terms and ideas is more thinking.
Yes.
And you can get
Yes.
really caught up in all of that thinking.
Yes, and it's thinking that, like by many people, and I remember how it was for me, it's a way of thinking that it's in a way become the right way of thinking. And because you say that it's the right way, you do not see that it's just a thought like any other, because you think it's the right way to think. And it's not really, it's all the same. There is only one thought, really. And it can be anything, and it's not related to anything. Like, it's like a hat with a name, like a label that you put or anything. But without labels, there is nothing. All that we see is just labels. Without labels, you cannot say anything about it.
The experience here, as you've been talking, Anton, is a bit like I've been hypnotized and I've gone into this quiet place. But it's like in a kind of hard to describe, but a weird way. It feels like it doesn't feel like anything, and it doesn't think like anything. So there is this. It's like I've gone into meditation, and for me to know what I'm experiencing, I have to think about it, and I'm not doing that. So I'm not aware of what I'm experiencing. I'm not empty, I'm not full, I'm just whatever. There's still stuff going on, but I'm not aware of it, what it is. I'm not, or at least I'm not describing what it is. It's just a rather beautiful, wordless place. Yet I'm still hearing words.
Yeah, it's the absence of observing anything.
No need to. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And it's funny because I'm having now a strong sensation and it's intense, and still, if I'm not labeling it, it's like the moment that I say that it's intense, I'm already labeling it. And it's still okay. Like, I don't know how. And sometimes there is no intense sensations. So it's just, it's like nothing. It's just like air. But it's not really changing while the intense sensations are here. It's just that it's unexplainable. I don't know like really how to say, but it's just that without a label, nothing really happens, and that there is no really an experience even. But everything somehow is natural and ordinary. Like there is no spirituality and nothing that needs to be done, and still everything, like, you do things but you don't need to do them. And everything that we think in opposites, to do or not to do, good or bad. Yeah, it's hot or it's cold, but in between the opposites.
Yeah, the perfect harmony of the balance point.
And there is no place there for the mind. It cannot go there. It can go or to 1 or 0. You're like ChatGPT, 1 0 1 0, but it's in between the 1 and the 0. And we just cannot go there, but we don't need to, because it's always here. And the mind, he can only jump from 1 to 0, from 1 to 0, from cold to hot, from the good to the bad, from the right to the wrong. And
When you
this
mentioned
in between is not jumping, it's not moving.
when you mentioned ChatGPT, it just I get such a kick out of how much I'm reminded of like the parallels between our thinking and ChatGPT behavior. And how, like, after it answers a question, it really wants to continue to be useful and asks you if, do you want me to elaborate? Do you want me to create a list for you? Like, it can't just let that be the end of the conversation. It wants to continue to be involved. And I know that there's, OpenAI wants you to stay engaged with it. But I get a kick out of our minds wanting to do the same thing. It hates being useless. It hates not being involved in every second of your day. It doesn't like no.
Yeah, okay. All right. Experience here is like, it's like Anton said, the mind can't go there. And I don't feel like the mind is blocked from that getting there. I don't feel like there's a notice saying don't come here. There's also no invitation for the mind to go there. It's just like it's just like it's inappropriate. The mind just doesn't belong. Is
It's a
more the
bully.
what?
It just
Yeah.
barges in uninvited all the time, giving you judgments and thoughts and interpretations and telling you whether things are good or bad.
But that insistence will change. What experience here is that you know I'm kind of got a friend relationship with my mind, and it's not aggressive. It's not insistent like that at all. It's quite. If I tell it to fuck off, it's quite happy to go away. You know, I don't even need to tell it that. It knows. You know. Yeah.
You cannot invite someone to his own funeral. It's impossible.
Well, I have to think about that one. Yeah. So have you been hearing Anton, Jenny?
Yes, I have been, and I understand what Anton's saying at a conceptual level, as usual. But the fact that everything is just a thought.
There's no point in thinking about that.
No, including the teachings, right?
Mm, yeah,
And I chase them constantly, and I think I'm coming to a slowdown, to tell you the truth.
yeah.
I'm just sick of them. I don't even, my only YouTube buddy is you right now. So,
Mm,
um,
yeah,
yeah, it's all the same crap. And I don't mean to be
yeah,
that way. No, I don't, I don't mean
yeah.
harsh like that. It's not doing anything for me.
Okay.
That I
So
recognize.
what I want to do is it occurs to me that it's valuable for you to appreciate that Anton's been awake for a long time.
Yeah, I get that.
And so he's talking about his experience. That's not yet your experience. So there's no point in thinking about the words that he's saying. It is an experience that you will have one day. So what you're looking for actually is what the seeker with the idea of awakening is actually moving into a wordless world. But we use a lot of words to get there.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wordless is so boring for the mind. I like Jeremy's
Yeah.
analogy, how the mind just barges in. That was funny. Just see this big bully opening a door and just yelling.
I just thought of the Kool-Aid man and changing my
What color?
relationship with the mind barging in. It's like, oh hey, welcome. You're funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Tony.
Hi Vince, how are you?
Good. We're just reflecting on the total uselessness of words.
Ah, words, yes. Words beget words.
Yeah, yeah, sometimes.
There is a nice saying. It's not mine, but like if you put in Wikipedia uh, this word, the only thing that you will get it's more words. So like
More
it's
thoughts, more thoughts.
yes, it's like we are all the time trying to explain the explanation itself with explanation. It's like more and more of the same, while it's all baseless. There is no beginning to it. Like it's in the air, and it's more and more and more and more. But it's really not on top anything. It's not started from something real.
So how do we help Jenny transmute words into recognition? Or is there another way to get recognition?
Jenny,
Yes.
can you try to think about something that have no opposites?
Can I try to think of something that has no opposites? I'm going to say no right now, Anton. I kind of get stuck. That doesn't make sense, I guess.
No, no has yes.
No has yes. Yes, the opposite.
I'm just playing with you. You said no,
Oh,
and I was saying the opposite of no is yes.
oh, you're funny,
Yeah.
but you're right. So there's nothing.
And what is between the no and the yes?
Nothing.
And what is between nothing and something?
What is between nothing and something?
Sounds like a koan.
It does sound like a koan, but yeah, it stops me. I can't go anywhere.
Okay, so
What I was going to say to you, what I was going to say to you, Anton, is that the map is not. There's an old saying: the map is not the territory.
let's not philosophize here. Let's keep it real for Jenny. And what what Anton's asking you is you're not going to find an answer in the mind, even though
No,
that's where you go. So is there an answer somewhere other than the mind? What that space between no and yes, between something and nothing. Can you experience that space?
like I'm looking for something. I'm looking, and I don't know what to look for.
Do you find yourself holding your breath when you're thinking about that,
I don't
when
know.
you're feeling that?
I don't know if I don't know if I did or not. I don't think so.
Right. What about between is now in between the past and the future?
Yeah,
What
because
is
that's
this? What is this? Yeah,
it's
perfect answer. Perfect answer. Shrug your shoulders. Yeah. You
it's just
you
this.
can't talk. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's so funny because I remember it. Like we, it's like we think that we have to find it, while you really already having it. It's just to stop thinking that you don't. It's so simple that it's unexplainable. You already experiencing it. It's not an experience, but it's already here. And you think that you have to find it. And this is the only suffering that there is. It's just that the spiritual people think that they're searching it for enlightenment, for liberation, for the now. And the regular people think that they will find it in a marriage, a car. It's the same. It's just that what we are looking for, it's already here, but it's not a trick. It's not that I'm saying a koan. It's really that simple. It's already all there is this. But even what I'm saying is just words. Like
And it's making Jenny think a lot. Your words are making Jenny think a lot. Jenny, if you just say to yourself, stop, stop, it stops, doesn't it? Momentarily. If
Yeah,
you say stop, what happens immediately? Stop.
it stops. Things stop.
It
Yeah.
stops. It stops. Exactly.
Okay, so
There it
that's
is.
that's it.
That's it. But but you have to investigate it more deeply, more deeply.
no,
That
and
that
this is the
that
problem.
sorry, if I could just finish. If that momentary suspension of mind, because mind is just thought after all. Mind is just one thought followed by another thought, followed by another thought. In that suspension of mind where you say stop, that has to be noticed because most people don't notice it. Throughout the day, people are having millions of thoughts and they're not noticing the gap between two thoughts. So when I said stop, that was just a way for you to notice that stillness that's always there. It's not that you're finding stillness, it's that you're removing that which is obscuring the stillness. The stillness is always there. So by stopping, the stillness reveals itself. The light shines, switching the light on in a dark room. That's the revelation of it. So investigate that. Notice that stillness after you stop. Very simple. Very, very simple.
Yeah, that happens a lot. But I mean, um, I guess it's
What
just that over and over and over and over again until it's recognized as this is what is without the Kool-Aid man coming in.
And in that silence, there's no suffering.
No, it can't be that simple. Oh, it
Oh yeah,
is
but
though.
the mind doesn't like simple. No, the mind likes complicated.
It's just you're here.
Yeah.
That's all it is, right? I'm just here. And I believe I'm searching for something else.
What is noticing that it's just here? You're noticing it.
Yeah, but
So
yes,
there's a recognition, there's a noticing.
yes.
Just keep noticing. Then a thought will come and it will distract you from the noticing. And then you go back again to noticing, rinse and repeat,
Rinse and repeat.
rinse and repeat. Yes.
It occurs to me that there might be some value in considering how to investigate, and that's not to think about it. That's not investigating.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Not intellectual investigation.
Yes.
That's why I used the word noticing. Just noticing, like you notice anything. You look at a tree, you notice it. No effort is involved in noticing the tree. You just see it, no effort. So same noticing with just that stillness, beingness. That's where the bliss is, in the beingness.
Yeah, that mind just came in and said, "Holy boring."
Ah, yes. Yes, it will. It will.
Yeah. Huh.
But that's okay because that thought that is only boring, how long is it there for?
No.
Is it there forever? No, it just comes and goes. Then
Yeah.
another thought comes and goes quite spontaneously.
So it's really that like when people have always said it's right here, and I'm like, yeah, it must be just this. Like nothing is going to be different. It's
It's
just
obvious. It's simple. It's simplicity itself. There couldn't be anything that's more simple than just noticing that. but the mind keeps pulling you away to the shiny objects. So you have to loosen the bonds by noticing it. By noticing it regularly, systematically, you loosen the bonds that are pulling you towards objects.
Noticing is also worth investigating. When you notice something, so when you notice something, do you notice that you notice it? Can you notice something without noticing that you notice it?
I don't know. That confuses.
So that's worth considering, not with the mind as such, but reflecting on your experience. Do you notice right now, as an example, do you notice right now the pressure in your bum from where you're sitting? Did you notice it before I mentioned it? Or did it take your focus when I mentioned it to bring noticing, and that's when you noticed that you noticed it? But maybe you were noticing it without noticing that you were noticing it.
I have a feeling I was noticing it without noticing it.
Yeah, yeah. So the noticing that you noticed it is a mental thing. That's a narration about the noticing. You can almost hear a story saying, I noticed that noticing.
How do you notice without?
Well, it's an experiment for you to consider.
Experiment.
Interesting, isn't it? This whole thing is really interesting. And we're not looking at anything new. We're looking at what's already there. Or
So if
not
I just
there.
kept a bird outside, how did I notice it if I didn't put my attention on it?
Well, you did notice it, because when you put your attention on it, it's memory that says, oh, yes, I remember hearing that bird. But at the time I heard it, I didn't comment on it. It's only later when you remember it that you're saying, I noticed it. So there was noticing before you noticed that you were noticing. And your memory tells you that that was the case. Is it? Is it true? You find out.
I guess
That's,
because I said it after.
yeah. So when you noticed that you noticed, you were actually noticing what memory was telling you about.
Oh.
Yeah, what just happened at the window there?
Oh, the bird, you mean?
I see, now you're reporting that memory to me.
Oh,
But the noticing was completely spontaneous.
it
But
was.
now you're reporting that you noticed the bird at the window.
Which is not noticing. It's using my mind.
It's a thought. It's just a thought, a memory.
Yeah, so we frequently take that reporting to be the original noticing, but it's not. It comes afterwards.
So you're asking me to investigate noticing, right? Without using my mind memory to tell me what it is I'm noticing. just the pure experience of it.
Yeah. There will be narration about it, but you can see that that's narration. That's not the original noticing.
People often talk about being present, being present, but it's not really being present, because if you're present and you're thinking about an object, then that's already gone, hasn't it? It's history. It's already in the past. So if you say to yourself, well, being present is acknowledging something that you perceive or you think, you can't actually get hold of it, because by the time you do, it's already gone. It's in the past. It's in the history. So being present is being present just with that awareness that is aware of objects. It's like when I said stop, you see, the stop was the object, but then the suspension of them thinking momentarily after that was the real presence, devoid of the object. So the object stop, the mental object, had disappeared. What was left was pure presence, no thought. So as Vince said, if you notice something, the noticing then ends, or the object disappears, and then what are you left with? There's just that gap.
I could see how that stops quickly, because it's really that was really uncomfortable there at the for a second. It's like, "Ugh, I don't want to be there." Yeah,
Why was it uncomfortable?
I just started feeling my heart more, like the my heart beating more, and yeah, it wasn't an enjoyable experience just to be with what was going on.
It's funny how people find silence threatening. Very often
Yeah,
if you get people together and it goes quiet, isn't it amazing how people feel awkward and they feel they have to say something, to fill the silence,
maybe
fill the
that's what it was.
silence with something. And of course, I've heard this from many people. They talk about the scariness of just being still without any thoughts, any experience. It's kind of scary in a way, because a lot of people say, "Oh, yeah, this is like I'm going to disappear. I'm going to become annihilated or obliterated," because there's no experience happening, and it's experience that defines me. That's the person who I am, from the memories and thoughts, feelings that I have. So when you just completely let go of that, it can be a bit scary. It's a kind of unknown.
Hmm.
You want to be someone. So letting go of all of that opens you up to a kind of vulnerability of not being anything. And that can be a little bit scary. But you have to tell yourself that where you're going is just yourself. I mean, you can't be anything else but yourself. So you're not going to a scary place. You're just being you. And there can never be
Hmm.
anything scary about being you. You're still you, whether you're thinking or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you wake up in the morning and before a single thought enters your mind, you don't say, "Oh my God, where am I? Who am I?" You know that you're you. You don't need a thought or a memory to know that you're you.
Did it occur to you, Jenny, that that feeling of being scared was a magnificent opportunity for you? That's where some juice is for you.
Yeah, it did.
Right, right. So your initial reaction wasn't, "Oh, I've got to stop this. I've got to get somewhere that feels more comfortable." You were curious as to what it was about?
Yeah, a little bit.
Hmm, right.
Or unless it might always just be there and I just don't notice it.
Hmm. Yeah, when that fear gets triggered, it's like the monster under the bed when we were kids. Did you have that experience?
No.
Oh, great. Yeah.
But if it feels a bit scary, just touch on it a little bit and then let go of it. Just go back to something else to ground you again and just just touch it a little bit, just occasionally. And if it feels scary, well,
No,
just
it's now it's gone into like a feeling of fuck this shit. This is stupid. It has. It's changed. Whatever I was feeling before has changed into I'm gonna say anger. It's there's a difference in my energy. I don't like using words like that because I'm not an energy. I don't but I feel a difference in me. That's all I can say. And it's not the happy feeling I usually have when I'm in the meetings. It's like disgruntled. It's like, yeah, screw this shit. It's too hard. It's like it's too confusing and it's just easier just to carry on and barrel through. Not to put a damper on things, sorry.
takes a little bit of time. Because the moment you get this feeling that suspension of mind, that silence, the moment you get that feeling that it's a kind of going home,
I don't
and
get
that will
that.
come, I'm sure that will come. But when you get the slightest inkling that that is really home, then you won't be able to unsee that.
I might have to change
Then
that word home to something else because that just doesn't resonate at all. That doesn't
it's
home's not.
like if you've had a busy day, you turn the key to your door, you go into your home, and you flop down on the couch, and you go, it's that
Mm,
feeling. There it is.
okay.
It's
Okay.
I'm home, I'm safe. This is where I feel comfortable. Even if I look out the window and I look at what's going on, I'm not interested. I'm just flop down here on the couch, and I just think of that feeling.
Okay.
That's it.
I get that now because I do get that when I walk into my home here.
Yes. But that's a very profound kind of feeling because you feel it when you're in your home because it's your environment. You feel comfortable, you feel safe. Therefore, what the mind is experiencing is a kind of letting go. You're sort of letting go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nothing scary about that.
No.
How have you been, Leonard?
Quite fine. Yeah, I'm not so talkative today.
That's fine. Mm. All right. Well, it's just coming up to midnight here, so it's getting close for me to go to bed. So thank you all.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you.